Hey guys, basically with another video. So today in this video, I'm gonna be going down with my top 10 questions about Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach. Now, I just finished the game, and I'll probably be doing a review on the game as well, but I'll also be doing a review in response to these questions that I'm asking, hopefully answer them, since I do think they're pretty commonly asked questions, I guess. So, yeah, without further ado, let's get into the top 10 or I guess 11 questions about this game. So, my first one, which is kind of the most important one, first of all, is how is the Five Nights at Freddy's sister location TV room in the game? Now, we all know that the sister location room is in the game if you go behind and get Monty's upgrade, Chica's upgrade, and you go to this little area. It's sealed off with a very rusty door, and you use your fast cam to get into it. So it's clearly something the game really does not want you going into until like endgame or something like that. It really confuses me how that's in the game. I mean, I know, pretty sure sister location doesn't take place the same year as this, but maybe they're built in the same spot. I don't know. Now, that's just a question. My second question is, what caused Freddy to glitch at the start of the game? So, at the start of the game, there's a cutscene which pretty much introduces all the animatronics. It's really cool, but at the end of it, Freddy appears to glitch out and then basically fall on the stage, where then you enter the game. So, I don't know exactly why Freddy would glitch, because there's nothing that explicitly says it. I don't know, it's weird. It says there was a high threat level, but like, what's the high threat level though, I guess? Now, I'm gonna be answering this probably later in the second video. I have to do a lot of research into this stuff, but anyway, the third question that I think a lot of people are asking, including me, is why is Freddy the only animatronic in the game that helps you? Now, we know basically every single thing in the Mega Pizzaplex is trying to kill you, except Freddy for some reason. And we also know that all these guys trying to kill you are infected by the glitched app virus, or whatever it is that Vanny or Vanessa's been putting into the animatronics. So, I don't know why Freddy's the only good one though, because somehow he was able to avoid the virus, which makes him good. I do believe that if the glitched app virus weren't a thing, all the animatronics would actually try to help you escape just like Freddy, but obviously we wouldn't have much of a game there. But yeah, that's just a question I have. It's kind of something that the game kind of hints at or somewhat leaves unanswered, but I'll be doing research into that one. My fourth question is, Freddy possessed by a human soul, and if so, which one? And the only reason I'm kind of convinced of this is Freddy seems pretty self-aware, especially considering every single game previously never had an animatronic that was this built, like had this much character development. Like, he literally mourns about Bonnie's disappearance.
I do not come up here anymore. I miss him.
It's weird to me, and when he dies in the Vanny ending, it's like a human scream. So I do wonder if he's possessed by someone, considering he has more character development, is a lot more lifelike, and has like weird human screams and stuff. Now, my next question number 5 is, are there two Vanessas? Because if you get the VIP ending, which I didn't get, I just watched it at the end of part 11, because I was not going to go redo the whole game for it. But basically, at the end of it, in the post-credit scene, it shows that there is a Vanessa looking above the looking down from the roof of the Pizzaplex, even though she technically died because of Vanny, because of Freddy pushing her off, and we get confirmation that it is Vanessa who is Vanny, but then somehow she's seemingly alive, I guess, at the end of that cutscene. So that doesn't necessarily make sense. That's one I feel like that doesn't have a lot of answers. I tried to search it up too, and there's not amazing answers for that. So for question number 6, my question is, why was Bonnie decommissioned? So, I honestly thought Bonnie wasn't going to be in this game. I didn't follow it much, and I thought he wasn't going to be in this game, basically, because of all the trailers never really indicated it. But then in the game, he has his own attraction called Bonnie Bowling or whatever. And we find 2 notes that basically one of them says, like, Bonnie, kids are asking where Bonnie is, and we need an official statement from the company. And the other one basically just is a security log seemingly that details Bonnie's last whereabouts, which was Monty's golf. So I don't necessarily know why he's not in the game. I do believe Monty has something to do with it because of the location, but it is interesting. I feel like in DLC maybe they should expand on this a bit more, or I don't know, or maybe I'm missing something here, but yeah. And my seventh question is where's Foxy? Like, where is Foxy? Because clearly he should be in the game. He has his own like attraction code, Kids Code, Pirates Code, whatever you want to call it, and he has merchandise for him, but he's like clearly not in the game at all. And I was wondering if Roxanne Wolf was supposed to be the replacement for him, but clearly not, since there's separate merchandise in the game for Foxy, alone from Roxanne Wolf. So that's interesting. And the game has no notes. You can find nothing about Foxy, so it is peculiar, I would say. Okay, so my next question is, my number 8 question is, who hired Vanessa, since in the game it is explicitly stated that she was unqualified? So you can get this note that basically says there was an interview with Vanessa, and it basically says she's eager and bright but is unqualified for the job. And then there's another note that you can get that says she was hired and they withheld her reference name, internal reference name withheld. So, and one of the higher ups, quote unquote, hired her. So why is that? My question is why, because obviously she was a part of Fazbear Entertainment. I know from FNAF VR that she was a beta tester for the game and she was taken over by Glitch or whatever. But why would they hire her back? And I guess that leads to another question. Who's the higher up who hired her? Like, who owns this place? It's pretty suspicious to me. I don't know. It's one of those things where I wish the game was a bit more explicit with it, but I mean, there's probably going to be DLC for this game, like most likely actually. So hopefully it gets answered in there. Now, for number 9, my question is, who is Lewis and why is he talking to Vanessa in encrypted chat rooms? So basically, many of you might not know this because this is a very late game thing, but you can get these tapes in the sister, and you put them into the sister location room, which are basically therapist logs between Vanessa and her therapist. And one of them, I only really listened to one of them in my playthrough because there's like 16, but I did listen to them on my own. But the one I got states that there's this, Vanessa's been talking to people in encrypted chats, and one of those people is Lewis, and I don't know who.
Your online history has revealed that you spent quite a bit of time with someone in an encrypted conversation. We have transcripts,
okay.
And I've read them. But it's not clear what you're talking about in these conversations. I can't make sense of it. You must be getting something from these that I'm not getting, right? Who are you talking to in these?
No one. Sometimes I talk with Lewis. He's in the marketing department.
Lewis is, but I'm pretty sure he has something to do with the fact that this whole glitch trap stuff's going on, considering they're talking to each other in encrypted chats. There's no other mention of Lewis like explicitly in any logs or anything, but it is a bit weird. It is a bit weird. Now, for my number 10 question, this one is pretty unanswered in the game, I think, but what year does Five Nights at Freddy's security breach even take place? I feel like it would be somewhat necessary to know, because, you know, for timeline purposes, I do still believe it definitely takes place after FNAF 6, but it would be nice to have a year for it, I feel like. Oh, so this is just a bonus question, but for number 11, my question is more of a statement. Something is up with Gregory, and I don't know what it is, but I feel like there's something more to him than just being like a regular kid or something. Considering he's an orphan, we have no clue what happened to his parents. There's a lot unknown about him. Now, I don't personally believe MatPat's theory on him being a robot, because I feel that there's a decent bit of evidence disproving it, and one of that bit of evidence is the fact that he's taken to a first aid station. Now, Freddy's line is "you are broken," but it's very explicitly stated in the code that the line is supposed to indicate that Gregory's arm is cut and it's bleeding, which is why he takes him to there, although it was obviously covered up because of they didn't want to explicitly mention injury. So that's why I personally disagree with the Gregory robot theory, but I still do feel that something's up with him. he sure does have a pretty aggressive stance against the animatronics. Like, he sure is pretty interested in destroying them, which I probably would be too if I was locked in a mall and they were trying to kill me. But I feel like something's up with him. More, I don't know, it's just weird. I mean, he does have a similar design to the crying child, which is ironic, but I don't think that's enough evidence. It's just weird. There's never really been a main character in FNAF that we actually play as that there hasn't been more to him. Like, we know the night guards from the previous games turned out to be Michael Afton, except for that Jeremy guy in FNAF 2. But he later became a guy who, one of the beta testers for FNAF VR. But I don't know why there is nothing really about Gregory, even though he's one of the biggest main characters in this series. So yeah, other than that, that's really the only questions I have. Let me know if you have any questions in the description. I'll make a follow-up to this video answering these questions, trust me, in my best detail. So yeah, anyway guys, hope you have a good day, and bye!